3, 2, 1. You ready?
You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. This is the Real Pineapple. Happy International Women's Day to all of you and to the incredible women in my life. I could go down a list. That would be way too many women, so I'll just say my mother. Thank you for the gift of life. I've got a review here for all of you for Raya and the Last Dragon, which is directed by Don Hall and Carlos Lopez Estrada. If you don't know those names, you should. Don Hall, a director I've been really keeping my eye on for a minute here. He wrote Meet the Robinsons, which I think is a very underrated Disney film. He then went on to be the voice of Darnell in The Princess and the Frog. He wrote and produced the 2011 version of Winnie the Pooh, as well as directed Big Hero 6 in 2014, was a co-director on Moana in 2016, and is the main director here on Raya and the Last Dragon. Carlos Lopez Estrada, this is his actual, this is only the third, like the fifth project he's directed. So, I mean, still pretty new at this. And I have to say, this is on Premier Access for Disney Plus. So these are always kind of hard to review because can I really tell all of you, hey, spend $30 on something you'll get in, 3 months? We'll get to that. But Raya, who is voiced by Kelly Marie Tran, another person that I'm sure you're very familiar with. She, of course, was in Rise of Skywalker and The Last Jedi, not used very well, but she's in those films, and she voices Raya. And the funny thing about this movie, it really felt like someone watched Avatar: The Last Airbender and went, what if we take that but kind of mix it with Moana, because this kind of continues that trend of Disney animated stuff where, hey, we want to have a strong female protagonist, which I'm all about because, as you guys know, if you haven't listened to the podcast for too long, I'm a huge fan of Moana. I think Moana is one of those films that, as much as it's loved, it's still underrated. I think that all the love that Frozen and Frozen 2 get really should go to Moana. I think Moana is a much better film than both Frozen movies. That's right, I said it. Fuck that snowman. But what I love about this movie is, again, it felt like someone went, let's take Avatar, blend it with Moana, and throw a little dash or two of Brave in there as well, because this improves on a couple of the complaints I have about Brave, but I'll get to that. But Raya, the movie picks up with her as a child. She lives in the fantasy world of Kumandra, where basically you have five different groups, or five different islands, essentially, or territories. One of them is Tail, which is a sweltering desert where sneaking mercenaries fight dirty. Talon, which is this floating market type area. Spine, which is like a frigid bamboo forest. And then Fang, which is their greatest rival, which is protected by these angry assassins. So that's so I appreciate the fact that the land, the territories are all named after specific parts of the dragon. I thought that was a very nice touch. But the movie starts off with Raya and her dad, Benja, who's voiced by Daniel Day Kim, who you probably know from probably either Almost Be My Maybe. He was in Hellboy. He's actually the best part in Hellboy, which is not saying much, but still. But more so likely known from Hawaii Five-0, which he's shockingly great on that show because that show's insane. But I love the chemistry between Raya and her dad. You don't get a lot of it because most of the story is about her being on her own, trying to go ahead and restore the balance to these territories and to the world, essentially. And what I really do appreciate about their relationship is that it never feels like he's talking down to her. When he's explaining the territories to her and explaining why she needs to have respect, even though they're all at war amongst each other. I love the fact that the respect aspect is kept very much at the forefront. And just as a parent, I went, thank you so much for teaching your child respect, because as someone who works for a call center and has children call in sometimes, kids can be very mean. So thank you. Thank you for being a good parent. But I love that relationship is established early on, which it sucks that, again, we don't get more of it, but you know how it goes sometimes. But the reason we have these certain territories is because 500 years ago, these monsters known as the drone went ahead and threatened the land and basically wiped out all dragons. And that sequence in particular, which you don't really see really more as far as the scope of what happened until later on, I love how dark that is, and it's very similar to the, oh gosh, is it the second or third? The third How to Train Your Dragon. And I'll get to why that's kind of important later on, but I really love this plot. It felt very old Disney. It felt very, 80s, 90s Disney. And I will say for myself, while Disney doesn't always hit with me, they hit a lot more than they miss. But recently, there have been some Disney projects. I didn't review Mulan, but I thought it was okay. But for me, it really didn't justify Crouching Tiger, Hidden Disney's existence. I didn't really know why. I get why they made it. They want to make money. But just as far as the artistic soul of something like that, and of something that's one of their best films, period, animated or live action, to see it just kind of be meh, I was disappointed in that. And luckily I didn't have that feeling here, which was really nice, because again, I was really sad that I wasn't as happy about the film as I really wanted to be. But you have an intruder come in who is voiced by Gemma Khan Namari, who is a member of the, go figure, the tribe that they're at war with the most. She's a member of the Fang tribe. And if you want to draw this conclusion, you can. I know some people go, that's kind of dumb, and that's fine. You can be wrong. But there's definitely lesbian energy in this. They are so close when they're older as adults, Raya and Namari. The way they hate each other and the genuine hatred they have, it's lesbian vibes. Like, it's very, very clear. I think, actually, if I remember correctly, I think Kelly Marie Tran even said Raya is a lesbian. So you can see it. Like, it's really not hard to find. Watch now. All the parents will be like, I'm not letting my kids watch this, but I love their back and forth because it starts off as a very genuine friendship when they meet each other when they're kids. Namari has this really sweet scene with Raya where she gives her this dragon pendant, and they're geeking out about dragons and laughing and talking about how their parents being single is just the most uncomfortable thing for them because they're such dorks, and just having very wholesome kid conversation, which I went, that's really sweet. And I really like that this is the direction you're going. And what made me laugh is, as I'm watching this, is I went, wow, I've been watching films and reviewing films for long enough. I should know, clearly there's a swerve coming. But the movie did such a good job of just sucking me in with their genuine friendship. I'm sitting here watching it going, oh, that's really cute. And then, of course, the movie pulls the rug out from you. So there's this crystal, this MacGuffin crystal that is being held by Raya's dad. We'll get, you don't really need to know why. It's just MacGuffin. So basically, there's this crystal that gets destroyed. It sends the whole world essentially the Mad Max Thunderdome, and we jump ahead. We jump ahead to Raya now as an adult. They don't say how old she is. I'm assuming early 18, 19. At least that's how old she kind of looks. But then she's on this quest now to go ahead and restore balance to everything. And for what this movie is, which is just, okay, we need to go here, get this thing. We need to go here, get this thing. It works so well. And for being a movie it's almost 2 hours, I want to say it's like an hour, like an hour and 48 minutes, like right around there. It moves so quickly, and I really didn't feel the length of this at all, which was a really nice surprise. Everyone in this voice cast is bringing their A game. And of course, I have to talk about Awkwafina, because not only just because I think she's absolutely gorgeous, but I have so much respect for this fucking woman. I think she got royally screwed out of a Oscar nomination for the Farewell. And if you've listened to the podcast, I have gone off multiple times about that, so I won't do it here. And she's going to be in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. No one knows who she's playing, and I'm really fucking curious who she is. So Awkwafina, again, I love her to pieces. She's one of my few gripes about this movie. It's not her voice acting. It's okay. So when Raya discovers Sisu, who is the last dragon in the aforementioned title, the problem is I don't have the emotional attachment that I have with Toothless and Hiccup. Because in the first How to Train Your Dragon, they do such a great job of playing that up. Like, Toothless is angry at this human, but then you find out, oh, Toothless is a big old softy, and he loves Hiccup and will do whatever he can to defend Hiccup. And their friendship over those 3 films becomes just so infectious, and it's so pure, and just the way that they do respect each other. I just rewatched those films about a month or two ago, and just have been so impressed with just the awe those films left me in. For all 3 of them, I think all 3 are great films, and I never felt that connection with Raya and Sisu. Not until maybe the last, I'd say, 45-ish minutes. And admittedly, yes, I understand you're building up the friendship between them, but the problem is the stuff they're writing for Sisu earlier on is very slapsticky, given the seriousness of what's happening. It's kind of, I don't want to use this example because I know people will be like, you suck, but it's fine, whatever, who cares? It's very similar for me, kind of what I think about Ragnarok. I understand, like, I've, watched Endgame and they make jokes, but I don't know, for some reason, the destruction of Asgard kind of leading up to it, I wanted that to hit a little harder than it did without as much joking on leading up to it. And Sisu just has this very kind of hokey, almost Fozzie Bear-like quality earlier on in the film that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. It wasn't enough to take me out of the movie, but I was kind of more like, I kind of wish there's more of a conflict with Sisu and Raya. And as the movie progresses and they have this conflict as far as how to go about saving the world, that's where it really got interesting to me, because you see more of Sisu as a character. You see her feeling so guilty, and her parallel journey with Raya's being, I'm not strong enough to do this by myself. Why aren't any of my siblings the last dragon? I love that storyline, how it mirrors Raya's, as far as her dad sacrificing himself for her in a scene that I won't spoil how it goes down, but I thought was so beautifully well done. My heart, I was just bummed I didn't get a little more conflict between Sisu and Raya. But just to bring up a couple more quick things, that the score in this is one of my favorite scores in a Disney film, probably in about 5 years. I thought the score on this was beautiful. I had a couple moments tearing up. It's very akin to something where, like, I think about Frozen 2 and how much I like the score and the music. And the second one, more I like it here. The music here reminded me of Brave, just how I was sitting here while I have issues with Brave going, wow, you were just knocking it out of the park with this. And as I was bringing up Brave earlier, the reason I like this more than Brave is because there is a genuine villain. Yeah, you have this scary bear, but that just wasn't really enough for me. I wanted more than that. And Raya and Namari having this rivalry and having multiple fight scenes against each other. They actually end up fighting much earlier on than you might expect. And I love the fight scenes with them. The way that this is shot, as far as the cinematography, it's very reminiscent of the first Kung Fu Panda, where you're kind of in awe of, wow, they brought in someone who's familiar with martial arts to at least supervise on this, because you don't shoot a film like this without having some input from someone who's done this themselves. And it's beautiful. I love the way that this is shot. Really, when it comes to my complaints, it's really Sisu, the way she's kind of handled at points. And again, I never felt the closeness of Sisu and Raya's relationship like I felt with Hiccup and Toothless, even by the end of the movie. Yes, there are some incredibly sweet moments as we get closer to the end, but it's just not How to Train Your Dragon. I know that's not fair, but it's just not, because you're gonna draw. It has dragon in the title. I'm gonna compare it to How to Train Your Dragon, and it's for me, it's not as good as How to Train Your Dragon, but this is still an excellent movie. Would I pay $30 for this? The thing is, and I know people are going to be like, bullshit, but I wouldn't pay I would pay $30 for Black Widow. Never mind. I really want to see that movie. But you kind of need to decide if can you wait 3 months? If you can wait 3 months, I'd wait the 3 months. This is something that might actually be better to play, in summer when when we're all hopefully vaccinated and you can have, the kids like have a barbecue and have some of your friends' kids over and put that on for the kids. You can all watch that with dinner. This is a great dinner movie. I'm probably going to watch this again because I think I still have access to my screener. I enjoyed the hell out of this. It's well worth your time when you do get a chance to see it. As far as a grade, I'm going to give this an A-. I think this is a solid Disney film. This is not Disney Pixar. This is just Disney. But this was so incredibly well done. Every voice actor brings it here. Sandra Oh is in here as a Namari's mom, and there is a scene that they have together near the end of the movie that I thought was so fucking wonderful. I went, oh shit! It's a really great film. Again, well worth your time when you get a chance to see it. But if you don't want to pay $30, again, I think this will be on Disney Plus. Was it April, May, June? So before the 4th of July, it'll probably be on Disney Plus. So yeah, you can wait if you don't want to pay $30. But yeah, enjoyed this. But Raya the Last Dragon, have you seen it, everyone? What'd you think? Let us know in the comments. You can go ahead and like us on Facebook at The Real Pineapple. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. You can follow Scott on Twitter at Nearman1st. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, SoundCloud, Apple, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio, Spotify, TuneUp, and Amazon Music, to name some places where you can listen to us. And don't forget to like our gaming page on Facebook at Real Pineapple Games. I'm going to try to stream this month. I'm trying to get some other bigger recordings I want to get done first, but I will be streaming here soon. And thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Speaking of big recordings, we're going to have Scott back on the podcast soon. I'm really excited to get him back. We're going to have a review for WandaVision. I have a lot to say about that show without spoiling how I feel about it, but there's a lot to break down on that. And gonna finally have my review for the best of 2020. That is going to be live on the 16th at 9 a.m. Pacific. I am horribly excited to knock that podcast out and really break down what I think is a very incredibly great year for film. I I have so much to say about this past year in film, but I'm really excited to get to that. But everyone, thank you so much for listening. Please stay safe out there. Wear a mask. Take care of each other, and we'll talk to you soon.